Well, if I think about flamenco education outside of Spain, then maybe it's good to say that I don't believe in blood or genes or the mother milk. It is a reality that if you are, as a child, living that culture, hearing the rhythms, the syncopations, the way of singing, that then you just start to learn at a very early age and you get a very natural relationship with flamenco music, a very organic. On the other hand, this is also a little bit a cliche kind of setting, you know, because many of the outstanding artists that I really admire don't come from a typical flamenco family, even in Andalusia. So maybe they started also at a later age, or they had to struggle with some cultural barriers. The question then is actually, how can we deal with that situation? How can we try to organize things in a way that we can learn them maybe faster or catch up some time in the process? And I mean, I had the chance to work here for a couple of years with actually the founder of this course, with Paco Peña, who was also our artistic director. And well, he had on one side a very, very profound knowledge of the traditional flamenco guitar, of the playing, of the repertory. And on the other side, he had a very creative mind in the way that he was analyzing very, very deeply what actually happens when you play the flamenco guitar. So analyzing the techniques, asking the question how you could organize the hand and how you could transmit that to students. And then I would like to add that I see flamenco as a kind of language, basically. It's a musical language where you have to practice. I mean, you have to speak like the same way if you learn a language. On the other side, you can also learn the grammar and you can learn the vocabulary. You have some rules, like in flamenco as well, some common knowledge, and then you have also a lot of exceptions. But if you start to see the whole collection of things that exist, all the different styles, the different rhythms, the freestyles, different tonalities, then it's just a very, very huge mountain of information. And what I think is very healthy to do is to organize it in a way that you first learn like the more basic information about the rhythms, about the harmonies, and then from there to analyze the exceptions. For example, in the freestyles, you can link them all, as you will know, to the fandangos. But then you have a huge amount of exceptions. But once that you get, let's say, the basic structure, you can much more easy understand also the exceptions. So that is how I see it, that you could compare it with the language. On the other hand, then you need to speak the language. And that is to play, to be in practice. And that is maybe a little bit more difficult here because there is not so much flamenco surrounding in Rotterdam. Anyway, I think that the Netherlands are one of the countries that actually have quite some flamenco life going on. A lot of concerts and also dance schools. So there is possibility to get to practice here as well. Yes, also there is always the possibility to go to Spain and to experience things there, but with a good package of tools that you prepared here, for example. Then we also give a lot of attention to the accompaniment of dance and of singing, because, for example, I'm really convinced that to play flamenco music, it is important to have a knowledge of the whole package, let's say, of the dance, of the singing, how to accompany it. even if you then decide to go more into a solistic career, or if you really want to work as an accompanist. That is also something that we keep a little bit flexible here, so we try to provide for everybody a good basic education in playing the guitar, in knowledge of flamenco, its history, and then you have also the possibility to focus in your own way on certain aspects. Go deeper into the accompaniment of the song, or to develop more the solistic skills. When I started to learn the flamenco guitar, I was in Germany, I grew up in Germany. Then, for example, this kind of organized information was not existing. It was in the 80s. And so I really think that is a step forward. So, and that is maybe also interesting towards the, you always have people that say, let this to the Spanish people, or let this to the Andalusian people, let this to the gypsies. Where do you cut? It's I think it's actually something very beautiful about flamenco music, that it's so strong and it developed in a way that it can be a musical language for many more people than only from Andalusia. Also, the content is linked to the life in Andalusia, but in the same time, it is much bigger. So it talks about profound things of humanity, and I think that is very beautiful that more people can share that. And on the other hand, for the professional life in Spain, this is just they can just benefit from that development as well, because there are more people interested in flamenco, the audience is growing, and that gives more possibilities to play. And so I think to restrict this to an area and see it in a kind of local folklore would not do justice to flamenco music. I think it's much bigger and it has much more potential, and I just love to be part of that community.